If you ever have wondered what gives you hope about the future, today's conversation may be exactly what you need. It's easy to focus on what's happening in the world and worry about the next generation. But what if there are young women right now learning how to identify problems, build teams, create solutions, and make a meaningful difference in their communities? Today, we're talking about the Girl Scout Gold Award, the highest award a high school girl in Girl Scouts can earn, and the remarkable leadership journey that unfolds along the way. My guest is Sheryl Robinson, author, podcaster, speaker, and leadership advocate who has spent more than 2 decades supporting girls and young women through the Gold Award process. In our conversation, you'll hear stories of courage, service, problem solving, and leadership in action. But more than that, you'll hear why Sheryl believes, and I do too, that the leaders are coming. Young women who are thoughtful, resilient, compassionate, and independently minded. Young women who are learning not only to serve their communities, but how to lead them. And that gives me a great deal of hope. So here you go. Thanks for being here. Welcome, Sheryl, to Girl Take the Lead. We're so excited to have this conversation about Girl Scouts.
Well,
Love
thank
Girl
you for
Scouts.
having me. Yeah,
Um, so let's begin, if you'd introduce yourself to our audience.
sure. Thanks for having me. I have been a troop leader for over 20 years. I am a member of Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Badgerland Council and a member of their highest awards committee, which is bronze, silver, and gold awards. And inspired by the Gold Award Girl Scouts that I've worked with, I launched Hearts of Gold podcast in 2018, where I interview Gold Award Girl Scouts from all over the world about their experiences during the Gold Award process. And then this spring, I adapted the podcast into a 7 book series for middle schoolers. While my heart is in the Girl Scout Gold Award community, the leadership skills and the stories that I help share are applicable to any student looking to lead with intention.
Mm. Well, maybe we should just back up a second and explain what the Gold Award is to our listeners, because a lot of them are probably not Girl Scout troop leaders like we were.
Yeah, so the Gold Award is the highest award a high school Girl Scout can earn. It involves an average of an 80-hour project. A lot of projects are many more hours than that. Um, where it starts is the Girl Scout identifies a root cause. So they see a problem in their community, but they dig a little bit deeper and they figure out what's causing that problem. And that's their root cause. They build a team, they take leadership, they have to build sustainability into it. So when their project is over, the intent is that the project continues even without their leadership there. As they're planning their project, they have to build measurement components into it. So it teaches students how to look differently at things and identify what their goals are and in a very tangible way, and then be able to say whether they've met those goals or not. And then they have to, even though normally this is a community problem, they have to identify how this same problem happens across the nation or across the world also. So
Mm.
those are the components of the Girl Scouts, but it shapes them and it changes them. There is a proposal process. So they basically have to write a business plan and they have to present it to get approval before they can do their project. And then when they're done with their project, they have to write up a final report saying what happened, what challenges they had, what didn't work, and what worked really well.
Mm. It takes commitment and effort and leadership. I know, full disclosure, that Kiki, my youngest, was a Gold Award girl, and it was pretty cool to see um, just the tenacity that it can take for girls to achieve that award at that level. So thanks for your efforts to support those girls to do it. Boy, it gives you hope, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That the leaders are coming and they're going to be amazing, and it definitely gave me hope too, seeing that. Are there other things that you see there with with the Gold Award girls?
Yeah, well, they really inspire me, and like you said, with Hope, I'm very excited because we've been working for quite a few years, and we've finally gained some traction, and we have a couple of Gold Award Girl Scouts that are more recent earners, so within the last 5 years or so that have joined our committee, and I'm really excited to have them on the committee because they're closer in age to these Girl Scouts that are working on this program, and so they can give us different insights and um, help us help those Girl Scouts
Mhm.
differently and in better ways that support them.
Well, Cheryl, what pulled you to the Gold Award? Was it just that you had been a troop leader and you kind of were in the flow of seeing what's possible for girls, or how did you get there?
I got there because my daughter is also a Gold Award Girl Scout. So when my daughter went through the Gold Award process, seeing that transformation within her firsthand, that inspired me to join our council's mentor group, that highest awards committee. And then I went back to school for my master's after my daughter graduated from high school. And um, it was clear from the beginning that my thesis for my master's program was going to have to feature Gold Award Girl Scouts. I'm still surprised and inspired by the ideas that these girls generate and the impact they make on their communities. But it really boils down to the changes that we see in the girls themselves because it really, those girls that truly commit to the Gold Award process, it changes them for their whole life.
Yeah, it does. I think it gives them a confidence that they can
It
do something so big that probably appeared big to them at one point that they could actually get there.
Yeah, and it's not just confident. I mean, it is confidence 100%. But the skills they build, these are the soft skills that you don't learn unless you like are in something. So, they've learned project management, they've learned leadership skills that are going to benefit them no matter what they do in the rest of their life.
Mhm.
Even just going for a job, they could still be in high school and have finished this gold award and be going against college students or other adults, and have a much better skill set for that employer, that they could get hired over those other
Mhm.
candidates too. So like it just changes everything.
It does. Tell us a little bit about the book series. I know you mentioned it in the intro, but um, what got you there? And I know that perhaps it was the inspiration from the girls that got you to this.
It was the inspiration for the girls. Not as many people know about the Girl Scout Gold Award as they may know about the Eagle Scout. You say Eagle
Mhm.
Scout, and a lot of people know what that is, and not as many people know about the Girl Scout Gold Award. And I wanted to impact that and change that because I felt these girls that had earned this award deserved more recognition and awareness from the public at large.
Mhm.
So that's why I started the podcast. I really wanted to highlight the stories and make people more aware. And then the book series has always been in the back of my mind. Um, but now, over 160 episodes into the podcast, I felt that I had enough stories to make a book series. So the series is, it's built on pure wisdom. The concept is it's built on pure wisdom, so that it's not. And again, it's for middle schoolers, so it's not just an adult telling them what to do. It's stories and advice from peers who've
Mhm.
already navigated those challenges. The books teach the students to be investigators. Instead of a one time fix, they follow the breadcrumbs of a problem. We use a program called Five Whys. So they ask why 5 times in order to help find that root cause that I mentioned earlier.
Right, right.
Um, each book in the series has 11 stories from Girl Scouts. And then it has a chapter that summarizes it and helps the middle schoolers. It doesn't tell them, it helps them figure out and inspire them how to make changes in their own community.
Yeah.
And then the guidance in the book, even though the book is for middle schoolers, the guidance in the book can be helpful for adults to help them help their middle schoolers navigate these
Yeah.
community issues.
And that's Hearts of Gold
It,
Reflections.
yes, it's the series is called Hearts of Gold. The titles are all they're reflections of, and then there's seven themes. So the seven themes are Earth Guardians, STEM, creative voice, health, inclusion, advocacy, and community.
Yeah.
So they all say reflections of, and then whatever theme that book is.
Well, I think I read the inclusion.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite story from there? From that?
I I do have a favorite story from there. I hate to say that I have favorites,
I know.
but I do. There is one that really touches my heart. And it might be because it has a Wisconsin link.
Mm,
So as I said, I've interviewed Girl Scouts from all over the world. So um, this one has a Wisconsin link. So Anya moved from India to Wisconsin with her family. And when she moved, she said that she felt like a puzzle piece being forced into the wrong box, particularly
mm,
in the school cafeteria. So when other kids unpacked their sandwiches, her lunchbox held the aromatic sense of home. She was anxious about being judged, so she would hide her food or sit alone to keep her culture a secret. She even tucked away her passion for traditional Indian dance. She was a dancer and she didn't share that skill with anybody. But her turning point came when she realized her younger sister was starting to hide her heritage as well. So, refusing to let the cycle of shame continue, Anya chose this as her Gold Award project. She stepped in the role of a storyteller and she wrote a picture book, and it celebrated cultural diversity. But she didn't just write the book, she also created a school club where students finally began to respect and understand all those unique flavors that all of their peers have, all of the different
mm.
things that go on in their school.
So such, I guess what do you think are some of the key takeaways our listeners should get from a story like that and from your series?
Um, it's that connected. First of all, you need the student needs a personal connection. If they have a personal connection to the project, that project is going to be 1,000 times better than if it's an adult saying, here, this is what you should do for a project. So it really needs to come from the student's heart.
Mm,
And so that means that adult, that they need to move from being a manager to being more of a facilitator. So instead of fixing things, they need to like have guardrails and be supportive.
mm,
Um, and then when students run into challenges or they're having trouble making decisions, don't just give the answer. Ask questions instead. Like, if you do that, then what happens, right? So that they can really think through the whole thing themselves.
so it's kind of like you've mentioned, a form of mentorship
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
help the girls keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. So, is there any other takeaway that you want our listeners to have before we end our episode today?
I really would love people to adults to read these stories and realize how they can support their own students because there are so many ways that we can do it, and sometimes it's challenging in these days. Um, there are so many activities students can choose from that helping them even navigate that and helping them make the decision of where they should spend their time.
Mhm.
These books can even though this is about volunteering and project management, the concepts from these books can even help navigate that process.
Mm. So, where can our viewers and listeners find your books and also like support maybe their local councils?
Yeah. So to find my books, they're available at all booksellers. Um, my name is Sheryl with an S, so it's Sheryl M Robinson. And that's my website, also SherylMRobinson.com. But they're on Amazon. They're on at Bar. You can ask for them to be ordered like through Barnes and Noble or your local books retailer. You might not find them on the shelves, but they can all order them. You can ask your library to order it and have it on the shelves so that not only you, but other people can share these stories. I have some free resources. If you go to my website, I have some free resources. So I have a root cause review and a volunteering handout. So those are ways to start generating some ideas and things like that. And I agree. How can you support Girl Scouts? There are so many ways, and you don't have to have a daughter in Girl Scouts to do it.
Right.
Um, we are always looking for adults with special talents to help us uh, in Girl Scouts. And that's whether that's mentoring, our Gold Award Girl Scouts, serving on the board at your local council, donating just to support the mission. Like all of these things are things you can do. You can be a troop leader too. We always need troop leaders. But you don't have to be a troop leader to volunteer with Girl Scouts. And if you don't know where to start, like you don't even know where Girl Scouts are in your community, girlscouts.org has a council finder. And so you can go there and you can put your zip code in and it will tell you who your local council is and how to get in touch with them.
And I'll put that into the show notes so people can find that in your books and everything else. So, Cheryl, I'm kind of curious how you're going to answer this question. What would you tell your 20 something self today?
Well, first of all, I would go back even a little bit further and tell my high school self to
Yeah.
go get your Girl Scout Gold Award because I did not earn the Gold Award. I was a Girl Scout through seventh grade, and then we moved, and the new school didn't have a Girl Scout troop. But knowing what I know now, like you can be an individual Girl Scout, you don't have to be part of a troop. So I would first of all tell myself to continue being a Girl Scout and earn my gold award.
Yeah.
But then I would say stay open and flexible. Life's going to take you to different places than you plan. And that's where the growth happens. That's where you learn. That's where you expand your knowledge. That's where you become the person that you are. Along those same lines, be willing to pivot. So when those things happen,
Mm.
be willing to go down that new path. It's just leading you to the next opportunity.
Yeah. Well, even though you didn't get the gold award, I think the fact that you did your thesis on the subject, that you are supporting girls in this such a wonderful, inspiring way, definitely earns you the gold award. So I give it to you hands down.
Well, thank you. And I have been recognized. I am honored to say that the thanks badge is the highest award that an adult in Girl Scouts can earn. And that recognizes ongoing leadership at a broad level. It's beyond the troop. And then after you earn the thanks badge, if you continue, they have what's called a thanks to, and I am honored to say that I have been awarded the thanks to badge. So Girl Scouts my council has recognized the work that I've done. But
Well,
thank you for
wonderful.
saying that I should also have a gold award. I can't go back in time and change it.
Now, the last thing, did you get a chance to go to our online store and pick something for yourself? I don't have a Girl Scout themed one. I should probably make one. And, but if there was something else that you saw there that you would like for me to
I
send you.
I did, and they were all so
Oh,
beautiful.
thank
Oh
you.
my goodness, they're so inspiring. They're so pretty. The one that really spoke to me though was the Finding Joy card that was
Uh,
inspired by Lisa Evan.
uh-huh.
I work from home in the summer, or I work from home, period. But in the summer, when I work from home, I actually work outside on my deck. I'm in rural Wisconsin, so I have this amazing view, and I we feed hummingbirds, we feed all the birds, we do all of the things, and there are times in the summer when I have to duck because the hummingbirds are zooming around
They're
where I'm
zooming.
working. So
And they do make a noise, don't they? They just sort
yeah,
of tell
they
you they're
do.
coming.
Hmm.
Oh, that's great to hear. And I'm glad you like that one. And my pleasure to send it to you. So thanks, Cheryl, so much for sharing your passion with us and inspiring us. It gives us, I mean, as I said, it gives us hope
Yeah.
that things
Well,
can get better.
And I think the kids are the hope and our future. And so whatever we can do to help them be successful, I think is it just it warms my heart.
Thanks for being here. Thank you, Sheryl, for sharing your passion and the work you're doing to support the next generation of leaders. What stayed with me from this conversation is something I've been thinking about ever since we recorded it. It's easy these days to focus on what's broken, what's divided, and what's not working. But Sheryl's stories reminded us that there are young women across the country identifying problems, asking hard questions, and learning how to solve some of the biggest issues in our communities. They're learning how to lead. And perhaps that's the greatest gift of the Girl Scout Gold Award, not simply the recognition, but the transformation that happens along the way. Because I saw it in my own daughter. These young women are developing confidence, resilience, compassion, and the ability to turn ideas into action. They're becoming strong, thoughtful, independently minded leaders. The leaders are coming, and they're going to be amazing. If you'd like to learn more about Sheryl, check our show notes. You'll find all the links there. If you liked this conversation and it resonated with you, be sure to join us later in the week with a soundbite. It'll be a short reflection inspired by today's episode. After talking with Sheryl, I found myself thinking about hope. What is it exactly? How is it different than optimism? And whether trust plays a role in helping us believe the future is worth investing in. We'll explore those questions together in the reflection I'm calling Hope, Trust, and the Leaders Who Are Coming. Until then, remember, leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to take the next step forward. And as always, be willing to take the lead in your own life. Thanks for being here. Bye.